can't believe the experts thought Adam was my match.
I don't think they tried to stitch you up. I don't.
It was explosive.
You're the one who put yourself out there, so you deserve the backlash.
There's a line that you don't cross.
Let's talk about the matchmaking process as well. I'd love to know, if we went around the room, could you say why you were matched with your partner? I'll start with you, Evelyn.
So I walked in with an open mind, super optimistic, and, you know, I pretty much asked for someone a bit different to Rupert. I kind of worked that out day one at the wedding, where I was like, okay, he's not exactly what I asked for, but like, everything I do in life, I tried to keep an open mind and open heart. I was like, okay, let's just like try to see through this and try to work past it. So yeah, that was me. And I don't know, to answer your question, I don't know why they
Did you ever ask?
match. No, I never asked. To this day, I don't know why they paired me up with Rupert.
Janelle, could you see, did the experts get it right at all?
I don't think they tried to stitch you up. I don't. No, I don't think they did. I don't think they knew Adam was going to, like, you can't predict someone cheating, sense. I feel.
Yeah.
Side topic, when I watched my wedding episode, that was probably the most shocked I had been with the edit. I remember in all my interviews, the number one thing I said is I wanted someone who was kind, like to the core. And then they'd ask me, oh, you know, do you care what they do for work? And that's when I would answer the questions. And then when I watched the wedding episode, I'm like, okay, I didn't know that all I asked for was someone's career, but okay. He wasn't at all what I asked for. I wanted someone who was really intelligent and articulate, who could, you know, really speak their mind. And that is a... I wasn't even trying to be subtle, let's be real. But no, I definitely don't think we were a match. He got invited to the experiment quite last minute from what he had told me. So I think, I like to think that I was supposed to be matched with someone else and they pulled out. The only thing that I figured out what that was similar was that I had asked for an extrovert. But I feel like most people that go into the experiment are extroverts. I remember when the cheating scandal came out, I got really drunk in one of my good nights. Really drunk. Like, I don't cry, but then I cried. I was like laughing and crying.
Bad.
Every producer came into my room and was like, Janelle, are you okay? And I'm like, and they were like, we don't know whether to laugh or cry with you. And I'm like, do both. And I remember saying, I can't believe the experts thought Adam was my match. Literally, it was so funny.
No, I didn't have any expectations. Like you do on your application sheet, write what you're looking for and whatnot. My only thing was obviously, apart from like being a kind person, you know, having empathy and compassion and all those things, the only aesthetic thing that I asked for was height, which Cody had. We did get along really well. However, I think I was more disappointed because you do, like what Evelyn said, you do go in with an open heart and mind. And my thing was, I was just disappointed that initially he kind of, I guess, he wasn't open to the whole experience and experiment because of the way that I looked.
Is the lack of interest, attraction and affection due to my nationality and look?
I think it did honestly have something did play at it initially. It's not, I'm not racist by any means, but it's not something I'm familiar with. Like, to be honest, yeah, short answer is it probably did.
I would just like to stick up for my friend Cody. He's not a racist. I think he just is used to being on the Northern Beaches and dating Northern Beaches girls, which is blonde hair, blue eyes, etc., etc., etc. So I don't think he's racist. I think he was just taken aback.
Do you want to comment on that?
I think just because you don't think you've come across as a racist, if someone of colour on the other end of the spectrum takes it that way, then I think people should just be more aware of how they say things and how they treat people.
Moving on from racism. In my opinion, it was really easy for producers / experts to match me and Dom. We had 3 really basic face value things that we could have clicked on straight away. Both vego, both love dogs, both Italian backgrounds. They're really, really easy overarching things, which were both built into our vows as well, that we immediately could have gone blah, 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 blah. You know, that's really easy face value stuff. And on a more prominent, deeper level, there was definitely a multitude of things that we connected on in different ways, and we had a similar outlook to things, and still do to this day.
I was really simple with my what I wanted. I was just like, I just want someone that's hot, like, and they're like, what about the personality? I was like, no, I don't care about personality. Like, I think.
Did you actually say that?
Yeah. And so they gave me Sam, which is a really good looking girl, beautiful person. But they made me realize like personality matters a lot more.
That's what made you realise personality matters.
Now when I go on Love Island, they ask what I want. I'm like, oh, and then now I have more to say. More to say. I'm like, oh, I want this, this, and this, and this. Where before on MAFS, I was like, just someone hot, and that's all I need.
If MAFS is divided into stitch-ups or serious matches, I think Jackson and I were definitely a serious match. I just wanted somebody nice and funny and who is a family man who wants to have a family. So yeah, I definitely was lucky in that I got that with Jack and Jackson. And
it always gets confusing, but
I know they're both Jacks, so Jackson had to be Jackson on the show. He's not a Jackson. But yeah, so I absolutely understand why we were matched, and yeah, I was everything he asked for, he was everything that I asked for, and yeah, it was really good chemistry for a really long time.
So I went into the show, same thing as most of the women here. You'd obviously want someone that's nice, someone that's empathetic, caring, this, that and the other, ticks all those positive boxes. But I'd also harped on about how much I really loved and valued my father, who is a farmer, and that I wanted a guy like my dad. But my dad is so much more than just a farmer. And so they matched me with the pigeonhole farmer of the show, but they also matched me. I am, obviously everyone knows my past, I'm an ex-drug addict. His dad was an investigator of the drug task force. Oh wow. There were different things along the way. His family they weren't Mormons, but they were some kind of, not that there's anything, I'm not devaluing religion, let me just say that first, but they were quite heavy religious. We are not. It was so chalk and cheese that it was not funny, to the point where it was explosive, and the simplest of things ended up being catastrophic and blown out of proportion because of our core values, this, that and the other. So I don't believe that we were matched like that. I honestly believe, because I am such a big personality and he was such a big personality, that it was there for the screen time kind of thing.
I think there's no perfect relationship, but I think there's 3 things you can't look past, which is politics, sex and religion. Rupert and I didn't have those hard-hitting problems. I think our core as people, being 2 silly people that had a great sense of humor, that took life lightly, that was our strongest aspects of personality traits that we concentrated on. We worked on the positive instead of the negative. But if I was matched with someone completely opposite like that, I don't think it would have worked out at all. I don't think we probably would have gone past the second dinner party. But we were both 2 easy-going people, so it was we enjoyed it when we could.
With the whole concept of Married at First Sight being pitched as an experiment, do you guys view it as an experiment, or do you think of it as a real relationship and this is my girlfriend, boyfriend? How do you see that? I'll start with you, Selena.
I think I took it too seriously, to be fair. Like I said, I was so desperate for a relationship. I really wanted to know what I was doing that was sabotaging relationships and why I was single for 8 years. So for me, it was very real. Once you're on it and you realise different dynamics in different couples, that yourself and your partner, you were both jovial, you were both chilled people, that kind of thing. But then there were other people that you're just why the hell have they put those 2 together? It's not really a fair experiment across the thing. That's just for ratings. They're actually in an experiment. Yeah, the situation is an experiment, but I just don't think that the playing field was even for people to be able to enjoy the full experiment of it,
I definitely enjoyed the whole thing, because Jack and I very much felt very together from the first night, the wedding night. We were okay, we're together, we're doing this, and everything was wonderful pretty much the whole time. So I was definitely enjoying the whole thing as relationship wise. But it was kind of hard to watch other people struggle. So it was a different perspective, I guess.
Would you all call the person that you were matched with on the show, would you call them your ex?
I do.
I wouldn't.
I don't call an ex, no.
Do you think because you didn't continue outside as well?
Yeah, I didn't go outside, went in love.
Hit real life.
It wasn't it was very it just felt very, weren't committed.
I came into the experiment really making sure that like I treated it like an experiment. Like I wanted to lean into all the challenges. I didn't want to not go on MAFS and not live the MAFS experience. And the MAFS experience is to be in this experiment, right? Yeah. But I still consider Adam an ex. He might not, but I haven't been with many. Like, I haven't had many relationships, so for me, I consider that one.
If you listen carefully to what the celebrants say, it is a commitment to the experiment, blah, 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 blah. All right, and that's what it is. Although some people will look at it as they're still single. Most people, and I'd say most people here, is you just lean into it and give it a good crack. All right? You either get along or you don't, but the idea is that you lean into it and you have a good crack, exactly as Janelle said.
Every season the show gets bigger and bigger and it's a ratings juggernaut, but what do you wish the Australian public would keep in mind when they're watching the next season?
Generic answer, but like keeping an open mind and not being super judgmental and trying to understand the position that different people are in and navigating that, and yeah, just going easy on one another.
I would say that humans are really multi-layered, and I think when you watch a reality show with such limited timing, it's only a portion of a person. And so same as you, like when you watch, like don't assume that's who they are as a whole, that there are so many layers.
We're human as well, and I hate hearing like, oh, but you're the one who put yourself out there, so you deserve the backlash. We're human too, and we have our down days as well. So when those negative comments come through, like I'm pretty sure we've all got pretty thick skin now, but there are days when you read one and you're just like, oh, like, yeah, just keep in mind we are human too, and just to be kind to one another.
I think there's got to be a line. I don't have a problem with people having opinions. That draws traction, and that's fine. Everyone has opinions in this world. Don't agree with how far they take those opinions to the point where it is things that never should exist in this world are death threats.
Coming to my house.
Coming to Olivia's house, things like that. There's a line that you don't cross. Like if you want to have a little wine night and talk amongst your friends, like, I hate it when she did this, I love it when he did that, what a fucking jerk. Whatever, it's fine. It's a TV show, you're enjoying it, you do your thing. I don't think it should be taken to a point where it is quite abrasive and quite detrimental to other people. I think there's a line there.
Like if you want to annihilate someone because of a TV show, keep it to your friends group chat and like that. It shouldn't even make it online. I know that's living in a like fantasy world, but we see that. Like we see the negative comments that you write.
Imagine being that person that goes out of their way, and it's also like I find it a little bit comedic now, because then I always say to people, it's almost like knocking on someone's door and delivering bad news or like something that's negative. Like just exactly the same as the girls said. Just don't. Like it doesn't really affect me now because I just couldn't. Like I'm so over it. But like in order to, it just makes me. I almost feel sorry for the person doing it, because if they have so much time in their day to go, hey, Selena, you are XYZ, and just keep going and fighting someone else's battles, perpetuating all this negativity towards someone that they don't know, then you know what, more for them, joke's on them. That's just a true reflection of them as an individual as opposed to the people that they're speaking about.
Like we're all human, and if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. And also like don't believe everything you read on the internet as well, like articles and stuff. Obviously believe everything you see off Yahoo. But that's about it. Yeah, thank you.
Did you and Jesse ever hook up after the show?
Is this a scoop?
Really put a full stop on my professional career.
I get back their shoe and they were like, oh, I got warts on my foot.
To be honest, he like hurts my feelings a lot.